Hey guys, Anna Nelson here with She Found Grace. Thank you guys for tuning in. First, before we get started, I want to welcome all the new people that have subscribed. You guys are amazing. Literally, I don't even know where you guys came from because I suck at uploading. But thank you so much for even stopping by and all your sweet comments. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and hello again to those who have already been here. Today's video is gonna be a video that a couple people have been asking me about. It's what are the differences between being 16 and pregnant and being 27 and with the family, like what are some of the obstacles you had to overcome and stuff like that. And I know usually I make like a less serious video, but this is a video that I'm really passionate about, so I hope I can not ramble like I do and just kind of stick to the subject and kind of get my heart out. Okay, so for some of you guys who do not know, I was pregnant at 16 years old, and I actually got legally married that like a couple months later, like 2 months later after, actually 2 weeks later after we found out we were pregnant. My husband and I, Christopher, we were actually legally married. First of all, obviously, being a teen mom was hard because your frontal lobe is not fully developed at 16. But I would like to say I was a little bit more mature than a lot of the other 16-year-olds. When I was in high school, I was not a party girl. I was more of a sports type of girl. Sports. Your brain isn't fully developed even if you're not a crazy person, So you have a lot of things that you have to work within yourself first, and then bringing another baby into the world when you don't even know what the heck you're doing with your life. Like that's hard. That's the obvious. Well, I became a statistic because I was Mexican. I was a Mexican female who did not graduate due to pregnancy. And the other thing was that, I got married. It wasn't like I was just pregnant, I actually got married. Like, as in, I have to be with somebody, I'm married. I'm legally binded to this person. So I wasn't just a teenager. I wasn't just a female, let's call it Hispanic, a Hispanic female who didn't graduate due to pregnancy. I was also married. So that in itself is another thing that's really hard because, like I said, I wasn't a crazy girl, but I made one crazy decision one time. And at the time, I had only known my husband for 3 months before we got married. There was a lot of things that I had to overcome. Not only was I a Hispanic female who didn't graduate due to pregnancy, I completely dropped out. And then I was legally married, and I was also a teenager. I was 16. So there was a lot of things going against me. It was really hard for me because I had all those things going on, right? And when I think back, I'm like, only God's grace could have carried me that far because everything was going against me. I was married to someone I hardly knew. I was gonna become a mom in 6 months. That's in the physical realm, right? Like those are the things that physically I had to overcome. Physically was happening. But I think the worst thing, guys, apart from the physical being of what was going on, all the things I had to go through was spiritually. It was a very hard time because shortly after that happened, like the prodigal son, I was like, I need to go back to my father's home. Like, I need God. I need Jesus. I messed up so bad. I can't do this by myself. I recognize that. I need, I asked God to forgive me. And, I wanted to start that relationship with Jesus. But I was married to a person who was not Christian, who had never been Christian, So spiritually, I think I battled a lot more because I was trying to become better. I was trying to be filled, spiritually filled. And then I was living with a person who was like, nah, I'm good. For me, spirituality, as I've gotten older, has become my main focus. It has never been material possessions. It's never been status, on my social media. For me, my spiritual life is my number one priority, which is what has led me, to become better and make better decisions for my family and for myself. And at the time, I didn't have that relationship with God that I have now. So I was struggling really bad because I was trying to become this 16-year-old example for my husband, plus get myself ready for another little human being that was going to look up to me. And I knew that becoming a mom was a big deal. So like I said, at 16, my mind was somewhere else, but I'm always going to say this, I'm thankfully, and I keep repeating these, thankfully, because I'm so thankful, I got my act together. And by that, I mean, from the time my daughter was born, actually from the time I found out I was pregnant, okay, I never left my daughter to do anything bad. I never went to nightclubs. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't leave my kids to do things. And I don't do that to boast or to make anybody feel bad if that's what they've done. But I decided that this little human being, even though I was 16 and a couple other girls my age were 16 and pregnant doing things that I decided not to do, I chose that one day I want my daughter to grow up and say, I want to be like my mom, and not say, my mom could have done this, but she decided to do this because she wanted to make herself happy. I don't know, guys. That's just how I am, and I decided from that day on to be faithful, not that I wasn't faithful prior to this, but I decided that since I took a vow, before God's eyes to this guy I hardly knew, that I was going to take it serious. So being 16, I made a decision that I was going to become the best mom I could be. That I was going to be the most faithful, hardworking wife that I could possibly be. And I decided that one day I was going to go back to school. But right now, my baby needed me. And that's just where I was at the time. And we did live in a basement. At the time with my husband, we were really, really poor. My husband was actually a telemarketer making $2,000 a month. Like, I can't, my husband and I think back, $2,000 a month, what? Obviously, life was was less expensive, 11 years ago when we first got together, but still, $2,000 a month. And no, we were not on government assistance, because since I was not legal, they were not helping me out at all. So Evelyn's birth was expensive. So anyway, so financially, everything was against us. Spiritually, everything was against, I should say spiritually, everything was against me at the time. Physically, everything was against me, mentally, it was against me. Emotionally, I was a wreck. So everything you can think of was against me at the time. And the only thing and the only reason why I am where I am is because of Jesus. My husband and I decided we wanted to become the best parents we could become, and that helped me because I had that, okay, I have a partner in this. I don't have to do this by myself, right? And now that we look back, we're going on 11 years of marriage in June. And what the difference is now is obviously very different. We're in a situation that we are comfortable, we live in our home, like our own home, not a basement. Looking at now, guys, spiritually, I'm in a position that I feel amazing. Like I said, my spirituality is my number one priority. So obviously very different from when I was 16. Also, when I was 16, I thought spirituality meant talking soft and making sure you don't hurt anybody's feelings, and I have to have a checklist of Christianity. I prayed, check. I didn't say bad words, check. I tried not to lie, check. I read 2 verses, check. Versus now, it's different. My personal relationship with Jesus is very, very different. So my spiritual life is very, very different. So with the spiritual, mentally, I'm in a whole different mentality now that I'm 20. I'll be 28. Now that I'm 27. All the things that I thought were important when I was 16 are not important. But the decision I made at 16 to become the best mom I could be, the best wife I could be, was the one decision that has led me to where I am now. And it is a decision I keep making every single day, that I want to become the best that I can be. Now, listen to this. I want to be the best mom I can be. Not my neighbor, not my friend on social media, the best wife and mother I can be. My 100% is going to look different than somebody else's 100%. I wanted to give 100%, and I decided that at the age of 16, and I'm 27, and it's something I choose to do every single day. Give my 100% in everything I do. My insecurity level was through the roof versus now I'm like, look, honey, this is the best you're going to get. So you better take care of this, you know? So totally different, I think. Yeah, very different. You know, and in all senses, all around, physically, emotionally, mentally, I'm so different. But I have to say that the trials that I endured as a 16 Hispanic, you know, non-graduate, pregnant, married, you know, girl, has paved a path to the woman that I am now. Because I think that if life was always easy, then I would have never mentally grown up. And I would have never emotionally grown up. And I am thankful for the hard times, and I'm thankful for the good times, you know. So I know this was a video that a lot of you guys were actually requesting, so I hope it's not super, I'm gonna try to edit it to where it's not too long, but I hope you guys know that, you know, if you're young and you're in a situation, you know, where you're pregnant, or maybe the baby's daddy does not want to be with you guys, or maybe he does, you know, I just really would encourage you guys to, first of all, take care of your spirituality and get closer to God. You know, he's going to be the foundation for anything working. It's not going to be by your own hand. It's going to be by his hand. And my second thing is, choose today to do your best. Choose today, listen to me, choose today to do your best. As long as you're doing 100% and you know you're not being lazy about it, that's your 100%. The decision I made to give 100% led me to be the person I am now. And it's all thanks to God, because I feel like he put that in my heart. Like, you have to give your 100%. And that's why I've never compared myself to anyone, ever. And I don't care what anybody else is doing, because I'm not them. I never will be them. So I give my 100%, and you need to make a decision to give your 100%. Because if you're pregnant and you're a teenager and you're like, I don't know what to do, that baby is gonna grow up one day and you're gonna either make or break that child. You have to choose. I'm gonna give my 100% because now I'm bringing a baby into the world, and it's not longer about you. I'm sorry, this whole me time thing, you will have your me time. Trust me, they get older. They're not always gonna want you to wipe their butt. You do get that me time, but while they're little, while you're holding them, cherish that. You know, you have to think about the consequences of your actions. And we live in a society where, you know, do what makes you happy. You cannot just simply do what makes you happy. You have to do the right thing and give your 100% on it, because time flies by. What you choose to do with this amount of time will determine what happens in eternity. Guys, ladies, give your 100%. That choice to give 100% will lead you to become a better person. Because when you choose to do 100%, you're going to choose to hang out with better people. Dress in a more modest way, to spend your time wiser, to respect, to love, to honor, to cherish, you know, to be faithful in your marriage, in your children. Be a good friend. Like, giving your 100% means that you learn new things about yourself. So if there's anything I can say about the difference between being 16 and pregnant and married to being 27, having 3 kiddos, and being almost 11 years in marriage, when everything was against me, is give your 100%. Choose to become better and work with the consequences, you know, that of the choices you've made, if that's where you're at or where you are in life. Give your 100%. You will never regret giving 100%, but you will always regret not trying harder. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.